Hello everyone, welcome to Educare 247. In this video, we are going to discuss 50 important economy and finance current affairs MCQs for upcoming SEBI Grade A 2020-21 examination. For this lecture, we have taken the news from Business Standard, Business Line, Economic Times and Live Mint. This video will help you to crack economy and finance questions during your SEBI Grade A 2021 examination. The first question is, monetization of deficit is best explained by which of the following? The answer is printing more money by RBI to give credit to the government. Let us understand the term monetization of deficit. Basically, it means printing more money to help government. When RBI buys government securities directly from the primary market to fund the government expenses. Mark the word, when RBI buys securities from the primary market, not the secondary market. Basically, RBI helps the central government in its borrowing program with the help of this tool. That is the overall objective of this tool. It increases overall RBI net credit to the central government. This tool was practiced till 1997, but at the time of COVID, RBI is still thinking, can we use this tool to help the government? There is another concept called helicopter money. That is also very important term. It is unconventional monetary policy aimed at bringing economy back on track. Basically, RBI print more money and give to the public with the help of government. Government basically supplies more money to the public so that our demand will rise and overall economy will come on the track. So this is very important concept. Please remember that it can be asked in your examination because at this time there is lots of discussion about monetization of deficit and helicopter money. The next question is, Tribes India e-marketplace is an ambitious initiative of. The answer is TriFed. Recently, Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Minda has virtually launched India's largest handicraft and organic product marketplace, Tribes India e-marketplace, on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. This marketplace will onboard 5 lakh tribal producers of sourcing of various handicrafts, handloom, natural food products across the country, and this is an initiative of TriFed. It will help them to market their produce directly, and here supplier will be individual tribal artisan, tribal self-help groups, agencies, NGO working with tribals. It is a path-breaking initiative of TriFed which will help tribals directly and showcase their produce and handicrafts to the world. The next question is, which of the following ministry organized RAGE 2020, that is Responsible AI for Social Empowerment 2020 Summit? The answer is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Recently, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology along with Niti Aayog have organized Global Virtual Summit on Artificial Intelligence RAGE 2020. This summit was for 5 days, 5th October to 9th October, and our Prime Minister inaugurated this summit. This is first of its kind. In this summit, it was discussed how AI can be used to transform India's vision of social transformation. The event witnessed by many global leaders, policymakers, academicians, and according to the report of ESCOM, India's AI will grow 957 billion by 2035. So this is huge number. This industry is growing and AI can be used in anything. So how it will also transform India's social sector. So this was discussed in this summit. The next question is, which of the following organization has launched Data Governance Quality Index? The answer is Niti Aayog. Department of Fertilizers has been ranked second amongst 16 economic ministries and third amongst 75 ministries and departments with a score of 4.11 on Data Governance Quality Index. This is a survey conducted by Development Monitoring and Evolution Office of Niti Aayog. Here the performance of ministries and department has been assessed on the basis of how they are implementing central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. In a survey, an online questionnaire was prepared under 6 major themes of data governance, that was data quality, data generation, use of technology, data analysis, use of dissemination, data security, and HR capacity. So accordingly, this survey was done for different ministries and departments, and it is found that Department of Fertilizers is second among all the departments. So this was very useful index. Keep in your mind, it can be asked in the examination. The next question is, Ravi Chopra committee recently seen in news is related to. The answer is review Char Dham project. Recently, the chairman of a Supreme Court appointed expert committee has alleged violation of court orders in the execution of Char Dham road project. Ravi Chopra is a chairman of this high-powered committee. Under the Char Dham road project, total 900-kilometer road will be constructed, and the total expenditure for this project is 12,000 crore. This program is launched by Ministry of Road Transport and Highway to connect the four pilgrimages like Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri and Gangotri in Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand State Public Works Department, BRO, and National Highway and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited is implementing this very important project. Under this project, engineering, procurement and construction mode has been used. This is the one way to build an infrastructure project, EPC. So that is also very important. It can be asked in the examination. So all the important points related to this very important project can be remembered. The next question is, National Startup Awards is an initiative of which of the following? The answer is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Recently, the first edition of National Startup Awards has been released by Minister of Commerce and Industry on 6th October 2020. Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has conceived the first ever National Startup Award. The aim of this award is to recognize the outstanding startups and ecosystem enablers that are building innovative products and solutions and scalable enterprises with high potential of employment generation and wealth creation. The first edition of award invited application across 12 sectors, and further it has been classified in 35 categories. The 12 sectors are agriculture, education, enterprise technology, energy, finance, food, health, industry 4.0, space, security, tourism, urban services. The winning startup got the prize of 5 lakh each. So this is to encourage the startup ecosystem and recognize the effort of wealth creator and employment generator. The next question is, with reference to the Monetary Policy Committee, consider the following statements. The first statement is, the new members nominated have been given a 4-year term. The second statement is, the 6-member Monetary Policy Committee has the mandate to maintain annual inflation at 4% with an upper tolerance of 6% and a lower tolerance of 2%. The answer is both 1 and 2. Both 1 and 2 is correct. Recently, government has appointed Asima Goyal, Sasank Vinde and Jayant Verma as a member of Monetary Policy Committee, and they have been given 4-year term. 3 members are ex officio members, that is Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das, Deputy Governor Mikhail Patra, and he is in charge for monetary policy, and the Executive Director Janak Raj. The panel is chaired by RBI Governor. So basically the Monetary Policy Committee is chaired by RBI Governor. This 6-member committee meet and discuss, and they maintain the annual inflation at 4%. Upper it can go to 6% and lower it can go to 2%. So this is the main role of Monetary Policy Committee, and recently government has appointed 3 of their new members. The next question is, which of the following is not the feature of additional tier 1 bond? The answer is, minimum allotment of these bonds is set at 5 crore. This is wrong. Basically, it is set at 1 crore, not the 5 crore. Let us understand the additional tier 1 bond. It is unsecured high risk bonds that banks issue to increase their core capital base to meet the Basel III norms. Bank can skip paying interest on these bonds if the capital ratio fell below a certain threshold limit. So basically it is high risk in nature. Investors may not get their interest payment if the capital ratio fell below a certain threshold limit. So SEBI has tightened the regulations related to these bonds because it is high risk in nature. That's why SEBI has made it less accessible to retail investors. Banks can issue these bonds only through electoral platform and only to institutional investors. And the minimum allotment for these bonds is 1 crore. RBI has absolute power related to these bonds. They can direct banks to withdraw the outstanding of additional tier 1 bonds, and they can direct banks to stop paying the interest payment of these bonds. So these are high risk instruments used by banks to increase their core capital base to meet the Basel III norms. This is very important concept, and this is very much in news because of Yes Bank's additional tier 1 bonds. So remember that it can be asked during the examination. The next question is, what is the initial authorized capital of New Development Bank? The answer is $100 billion. This is formally known as BRICS Development Bank, and it is a multilateral development bank established by BRICS countries. According to the agreement of these banks, the bank will support public and private projects through loan guarantee or equity participation or other financial instruments. So basically, these banks will provide loan to public and private projects either through loan guarantee or through equity participation. This bank will also collaborate with different international organizations to finance the project and also provide the technical support for the project. That is very important. It was established in 2014 when 6th BRICS Summit happened at Brazil, Fortaleza, that is the city of Brazil, and initial authorized capital for the bank is $100 billion. One important thing, all the country has one vote under this bank, and there is no veto power given to any country when it comes to the functioning of this bank. So this is very important bank for the development of BRICS country. The next question is, International Financial Services Centers Authority works under which of the following department? The answer is Department of Economic Affairs. It is a statutory body established in 2020 and it works under Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. The headquarters of this body is at Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Basically, it is a unified regulator and it has power like RBI, SEBI, IRDAI and PFRDA in terms of financial services and products located in the International Financial Services Center. So that is very important body. It will regulate, it has power like all the regulatory bodies when it comes to International Financial Service Center, financial products and financial services. It has a chairman and it will have a member from RBI, RDI, SEBI, PFRDA, and it will have 2 members from the central government and they will be full-time and part-time member. So this is very important body established in 2020. So questions related to this can be asked in your examination. The next question is, in India, the sectors where FDI is not allowed are, 4 options are given. You have to choose in which sector the FDI is not allowed. The answer is 1 and 2. In investment in chit funds and in tobacco industry, FDI is not allowed in India. These are the sectors where FDI is not allowed. That is atomic energy generation, tobacco industry, lotteries, investment in chit fund, agricultural or plantation activities, but in something like horticulture, fisheries, tea plantation, FDI is allowed. So that is important thing. Housing and real estate except township and commercial projects, FDI is not allowed. Trading of transferable development right, under this also FDI is not allowed, and any gambling and betting business, FDI is not allowed. So these are the things, sectors where FDI is not allowed. Please remember that it can be asked in your examination. The next question is, which of the following sectors attracted the highest FDI in the year 2019-20? Answer is services. According to the recent data published by Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Service sector attracted the highest FDI during the year 2019-20, and that is 7.85 billion. Computer and software industry attracted 7.67 billions. Telecommunication industry attracted 4.44 billion. Automobile industry attracted 2.82 billion. Other figures you can see, construction is 2 billion. Foreign direct investments increases 13% during the year 2019-20, and it is $49.97 billion. In the year 2018-19, it was $44.36 billion. The highest FDI came from the Singapore, that is 14.67 billions, and the second highest came from Mauritius, that is 8.24 billion. These figures are very important. Questions can be framed on those figures. Maharashtra generated the highest share of FDI, and that is 30% of the total FDI, that is 7.26 billions. Please remember these important points. Karnataka and Delhi attracted 18% and 17% share of FDI respectively. This figure is also very important. Please remember all the important data. I believe 5 to 6 questions can be framed with the help of these data. The next question is, Singapore's Temasek-like model, sometimes seen in the news, is related to which of the following? The answer is disinvestment program. Economic Survey 2019-20 talked about this model, and this survey has backed the government's move to aggressively privatize central government public sector enterprises through disinvestment of government stake. So it is very important. The economic survey has said that it will create a multiplier effect on improving efficiency and profitability of divested company. It will also unlock the capital which can be used for public infrastructure building. So that is very important point. Survey has cited the case of Temasek Holding Company in Singapore, and what they have done, they have successfully maximized the government stakes in CPSEs. How it has been done? Basically, CPSEs is a separate corporate entity, and government transfer their share to these entity, and this entity will have independent board. Government will have no control on that, and this will create a professionalism and autonomy system for disinvestment program. It can be used for our PSUs also, what survey has claimed. So this model was in discussion during the time of COVID. When government need the finances, they have to disinvest their shares of these public sector entities. So this is very important concept. Please remember all the important points. The next question is, which of the following is a leverage ratio? The answer is debt equity ratio. Reserve Bank of India has relaxed the leverage ratio for banks to help them to boost their lending activities. Currently, it is 4% for domestic systematically important banks and 3.5% for other banks. So it is very important point. It is effective from October 1st, 2019. Basically, bank has to disclose capital measures, exposure measures along with leverage ratio on quarterly basis, but they have to meet the minimum leverage ratio requirement all the time. It's not they have to meet at quarterly basis. They have to meet all the time, but they have to disclose the number on quarterly basis. Leverage ratio is defined as capital measure divided by exposure measure. It is expressed in terms of percentage. The capital measures is tier 1 capital, and the exposure measure is both on balance sheet exposure and off balance sheet items. That is very important point. While looking leverage ratio, one can say that how much capital has come from debt or loans, and it also talks about company's ability to meet its financial obligation. So that is very important ratio when it comes to company's finances or company's financial health. The next question is, what is India's position in terms of crude oil import? The answer is third. India is the world's third largest crude oil importer. OPEC meets 78% of India's crude oil demand, 59% of LPG need, and 38% of LNG consumption. OPEC nation offers bigger discount on crude oil to Western economies in terms of, in comparison to Eastern economies. So that is an important point. Please remember that, and please remember India's ranking in terms of crude oil import. The next question is, participatory notes investments in Indian market is allowed in which of the following instruments? The answer is all of the above. Four instruments are given, and in all these four instruments, participatory note investment is allowed. Let us understand the participatory note. Basically, it is issued by registered foreign portfolio investors to overseas investors who wants to participate in Indian stock market without registering themselves directly. So basically, these investors don't want to register themselves with Indian regulators, but they want to invest, so they can invest through P notes, participatory notes, and they can invest through either equity, debt, or hybrid securities or derivatives. So this is very important concept. Please remember that it can be asked in your examination. The next question is, which of the following ministry has released the report of the Committee on Business Responsibility Reporting? The answer is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs has released report of the Committee on Business Responsible Reporting. Gyaneshwar Kumar Singh is the chairman of this committee, and he is a joint secretary at Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs has been taking various initiatives to ensure responsible business conduct by companies. They have issued a voluntarily guidelines on corporate social responsibility in 2009, and they have also initiated many processes to ensure the good business practice. SEBI has also mandated for top 100 listed companies to file business responsibility report from environment, social and governance perspective. So these are the initiatives by government bodies to ensure good business practice and corporate governance. The next question is, how much contingency buffer RBI has maintained in the year 2019-20? The answer is 5.5%. RBI Central Board approved a transfer of 57,000 crore as a surplus to central government for the accounting year 2019-20, and they have maintained the contingency buffer at 5.5%. This percentage is very important. Please keep in your mind, it can be asked in your examination. This decision was taken in 584th meeting of the Central Board, and this board was chaired by RBI Governor Shaktikant Das. In budget 2020-21, government has said that they will take 60,000 crore as a dividend from central bank, and this 57,000 crore is approximately the same amount. This push of RBI has come at the time of crisis because government is facing various fiscal deficit challenges. From April to June, government recorded the fiscal deficit of 6.62 lakh crore. So this is a very necessary step. This power RBI gets to transfer the surplus amount from RBI Act 1934. So that is also a very important fact. Please keep all this point in your mind because this is very important for your upcoming examination. The next question is, Utkarsh 2022 often seen in the news is related to which of the following? The answer is banking system. Basically, it is a 3-year roadmap plan of RBI to improve regulation, supervision and other function of the central bank. This plan is on the line of Global Central Bank Plan. So that is also very important. You please remember this word Utkarsh 2022, and this is aligned with Global Central Bank Plan. It will help RBI to improve their regulatory and supervisory mechanism. The next question is, new arrangement to borrow, a funding mechanism recently seen in news, is related to which organization? The answer is International Monetary Fund. New arrangement to borrow is a fund mobilization arrangement of the IMF. Under this, the fund will be mobilized and additional fund will be given to the borrower, and member country will lend under this fund. So this is very important initiative because at the time of COVID crisis, many countries are facing the financial problem. So this mechanism will help to get additional fund. The next question is, among the following acts, an enforcement direct in India will be most concerned with which of the following act? The answer is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Enforcement Direct is a law enforcement agency and economic intelligence agency. They are responsible to fight the economic crime in India. and it works under Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. The objective of this enforcement directorate is to enforce the two key important acts. First, the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999 and Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. So basically their function is to enforce these two acts and fight the economic crime in India. So this is very important agency under government. The next question is Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance has launched the Sustainable Finance Collaborative with the collaboration of which of the following institute? The answer is UNDP. Recently, Department of Economic Affairs under Ministry of Finance has collaborated with United Nations Development Programme to launch the Sustainable Finance Collaborative, and this initiative was launched on 26th August 2020. There was a consultation held over the virtual platform to discuss what is the barrier to deploy new and innovative financing in India and what is the sustainable finance architecture in India, how India can get impact investing and green financing. So these were the discussion point. This may help to get impact investing and green financing in India. The next question is under which section of the National Food Security Act 2013 government has included disabled people in the same act? The answer is section 38. Department of Food and Public Distribution has sent a letter to all the state government to include all eligible disabled person under National Food Security Act 2013. Section 38 of the act mandates the central government they can direct the state government time to time for the effective implementation of the provision of this act. And section 10 of the National Food Security Act 2013 provides the coverage of the person under the Annadata Yojana. So basically these are the two important acts. Atmanirbhar Bharat package of Government of India is for the person those who are not the part of National Food Security Act or any state scheme or PDS card. So basically disabled people are not included in National Food Security Act and state scheme PDS card. That's why they have been included in this act. Disabled person without ration card are eligible for getting benefits under Atmanirbhar Bharat package. So this is the initiative for disabled people. The next question is which of the following state has launched Jeevan Shakti Yojana for female entrepreneurs? The answer is Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh government has launched this scheme to help the women entrepreneurs, and under this scheme 10 lakh mask has been made by the women entrepreneurs. This scheme has provided low cost mask to the citizen, and at the same time it has provided employment to the women entrepreneurs. At the time of crisis, this is very important scheme. Under this scheme, women of rural and urban area have become the self-reliant, because at the time of crisis many women entrepreneurs have lost their jobs and opportunities, and this scheme has helped them to grow. Under this scheme, government has made a payment of 1 crore 9 lakh rupees to the women entrepreneurs. So this is very important scheme to provide low cost mask to the citizen and employment to the women entrepreneurs. The next question is which of the following body is responsible for implementation and the management of Ayushman Bharat and the National Digital Health Mission? The answer is National Health Authority. National Health Authority has recently released a draft health data management policy of the National Digital Health Mission in public domain for comments and feedback. National Health Authority is an apex body of Government of India. It is responsible for design, rollout and the implementation of Ayushman Bharat and National Digital Health Mission. Under this draft, it has been said that what will be the minimum standard for health data privacy protection. And the purpose of this draft is to create a national digital health ecosystem that will support universal health coverage in efficient, accessible, affordable, timely and safe manner. So this draft is very important for the implementation of universal health coverage, and basically it will build a national digital health ecosystem. The first question is which of the following sets the interest rates for small saving schemes? The answer is Ministry of Finance. Mostly, RBI sets the benchmark for lending rates and banking system, but Finance Ministry sets the interest rates for small saving scheme. For other things, RBI sets the rates, but in case of small saving schemes, Ministry of Finance sets the rate. This is very important point. Department of Post has extended all the saving schemes up to the branch post office level recently. Under this order, the branch post offices can offer facilities of Provident Fund, Monthly Income Scheme, National Saving Certificate Scheme, Kisan Vikas Patra and Senior Citizen Saving Schemes. These are all small saving schemes run by Ministry of Finance. People will now be able to deposit their saving into these popular schemes through the post office in their village itself, and there are 1,31,113 branch post offices in rural India. The decision aimed to empower rural India by bringing all the post office saving scheme to the doorstep of the people living in the rural areas. Basically, it will boost the rural economy. The next question is National Cooperative Development Corporation work under which of the following ministry? The answer is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Recently, Agriculture Minister launched the National Cooperative Development Corporation YouTube channel. The name is Sahakar Cooperative NCDC India. It will encourage farmers and youth to take the benefit of cooperatives. He also released a video on formation and the registration of cooperatives for 18 states in Hindi and regional languages. The videos will be aired on the new channel. That new channel have been formed. The guidance video in different languages covering 18 states would be strengthen and deepen the major initiative of our government to promote the farmer producer organization. Earlier we have already discussed, government has approved 10,000 FPOs across the India. National Cooperative Development Corporation is an apex level statutory institution and which work under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So these are very important points for your examination. Keep all the points in your mind. The next question is Khadi Agarbatti Atmanirbhar Mission is led by which of the following ministry? The answer is Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Recently, MSME Minister has approved the unique employment generation program proposed by Khadi and Village Industries Commission, and the name of this program is Khadi Agarbatti Atmanirbhar Mission. It will basically make India Atmanirbhar in Agarbatti production, and it will create employment for migrant workers, those who have gone to their villages from different part of India. It will also increase domestic agarbatti production substantially. Recently, it will be launched as a pilot project, but later it will be scaled up. The scheme is designed by KVIC on PPP model. Basically, some third party will be involved and they will be providing raw materials, and government will provide subsidy on the cost of machine. 25% subsidy will be provided and 75% cost of the machine will be borne by the artisan on installment basis. Every month they have to pay certain amount. The business partner will provide the raw material, the third party. So this is very important initiative by MSME Ministry. You must remember all the important points. The next question is what percentage of FDI is permitted in coal mining activities? The answer is 100%. Recently, Government of India has clarified that FDI in commercial coal mining should also comply with recent amendment made in the applicable laws. Recently, Government of India has modified the FDI policy and they have said that the country which shares land border with India or where the beneficial owner of an investment into India is situated in or a citizen of any such country could invest only under government route. So basically, India's neighbor country which shares border with India can only invest through government route. They cannot invest through automatic route. The new policy further states that citizen of Pakistan or any entity incorporated in Pakistan can invest only under the government route in sectors and activities other than defense, space and atomic energy. So this is also a very important point. Even for the sector which are prohibited for foreign investment, government route has been made mandatory for all such entities. Government of India had earlier permitted 100% FDI under automatic route in coal mining activities, but now the new modification will also apply on coal mining activities. So basically India's neighbor can only invest in India through the government route. They cannot invest through the automatic route. So this is very important point. The next question is, 8 core industries accounts for what percentage of index of industrial production? The answer is 40.2%. According to the recent data released by Commerce and Industry Ministry, 8 core industries dropped by 15% in June compared to 22% in May. In April, it declined to 37%. Since last 4 months, it is declining. Except fertilizers, other 7 industries registered a decline in output. Coal recorded 15.5% decline. Steel sector recorded 33.8% decline. Electricity recorded 11% decline. All the 8 core industries are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement and electricity. These 8 industries are very important. Please remember the name of these 8 industries. It can be asked in the examination, and all these 8 industries accounts for 40.27% of index of industrial production. So this is very important concept and it measures the overall economic activity in our country. The first question is, India has banned 59 apps originating from China. Which section of IT Act 2000 has been used to ban these apps? The answer is Section 69A. Government of India has banned 59 apps originating from China, and some very popular apps like TikTok, UC browser, ShareIt and Cam Scanner have been included in this ban. The ban has been enforced by Ministry of Information Technology, and they have used power from Section 69A of Information Technology Act 2000 and Information Technology Procedure and Safeguards for Blocking of Access of Information by Public Rules 2009. Title of Section 69A of Information Technology Act 2000 is Power to issue directions for blocking for public access of any information through any computer resources. So this section has been used to ban Chinese apps. According to ministry, these apps are engaged in activities which is prejudicial to sovereignty and integrity of India. It is threat to our national security. That's what ministry has said, and that's why these apps have been banned. The next question is, PM formalization of micro food processing enterprises scheme comes under which of the following category? The answer is centrally sponsored scheme. Recently, Union Minister for Food Processing launched the PM formalization of micro food processing enterprises scheme as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The objective of this scheme is to provide financial, technical and business support for the upgradation of existing micro food processing enterprises. So basically, some technical, some financial and business support will be provided to the existing food processing unit, especially micro food processing unit. The scheme would generate total investment of 35,000 crore and generate 9 lakh skilled and semi-skilled employment. It will benefit almost 8 lakhs micro units. It will give the information, training will be provided, better exposure to business, and it will be formalized. This is centrally sponsored scheme and it will be implemented for the period of 5 years from 2020 to 2024, and total outlay for this scheme is 10,000 crore. The expenditure under this scheme will be shared in the ratio of 60 to 40 between center and state governments. In case of Northeast and Himalayan state, the ratio is 90 to 10. 90% will be shared by center and 10% will be shared by state government. So these are the important facts related to this very important scheme. It can be asked in the examination. The next question is, Operation Greens scheme is being implemented by which of the following union ministry? The answer is Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Recently, Union Minister for Food Processing announced that Operation Greens will be extended to all perishable fruits and vegetables. Currently, this scheme is applicable for top crops, tomato, onion and potato. Now, all the notified horticulture crops will be included under this scheme, and subsidy will be provided for the transportation of goods from surplus production area to major consumption center and for storage as well. Objective of this scheme is to protect the growers of fruits and vegetables from making distress sale due to lockdown and reduce the post-harvest losses. Ministry will provide the subsidy of 50% of the cost of transportation and hiring for storage facility. This will be applicable for the maximum period of 3 months. So under two category, the subsidy will be provided, and the subsidy is for the 50% of the total cost. So these are the important points related to Operation Greens. The next question is, which of the following organization has launched SLS Trust for a special liquidity scheme for NBFCs and HFCs? The answer is SBI Capital Markets Limited. Recently, Reserve Bank of India has operationalized rupees 30,000 crore special liquidity scheme for NBFCs and HFCs. Union Cabinet has approved this scheme in May 21st, but now RBI has notified this scheme. This scheme is aimed to improve the liquidity position of NBFCs and housing finance companies. RBI will provide funds for the scheme by subscribing to government guaranteed special securities issued by trust, and total amount for these kind of securities will not exceed rupees 30,000 crore. Government of India will provide an unconditional and irrevocable guarantee to the special securities issued by the trust, and the scheme is being launched on July 1st, 2020 through the special purpose vehicle in the form of SLS Trust set up by SBI Capital Market Limited. So these are the important points related to this very important special liquidity scheme. Please remember all the facts. The next question is, recently seen in news, Ramagundam Fertilizers and Chemicals Limited is located in. The answer is Telangana. Recently, Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizer held a review meeting to know the progress for the construction of Ramagundam Fertilizers and Chemical Limited. It is an upcoming gas-based urea unit which has the capacity of 12.7 lakh million ton per annum, and it is located in Ramagundam, Telangana. It is a joint venture company promoted by National Fertilizers Limited, Engineers India Limited, Fertilizer Corporation of India. This was incorporated in 2015, and the foundation stone was laid by PM Modi in 2016. After commissioning Ramagundam project along with many revival projects, it will reduce the need of urea import by 63.5 lakh million ton per annum. So this project is very important. That's why our Union Minister has reviewed the progress for the construction. The next question is, how many parties are involved in surety bond? The answer is 3. Recently, insurance regulator IRDAI has formed a panel under G. Srinivasan. He is the director of National Insurance Academy, and this panel will assess the suitability of Indian insurance sector or any other sector to offer surety bonds for road contracts in the country. Basically, surety bond is a three-party agreement, and it legally binds together a principal who needs the bond, an obligee who requires the bond, and surety company that sells the bond. So basically, surety bonds provide financial guarantee that contracts will be completed according to predefined and mutual terms. When the principal breaks a bond terms, the harm party can make a claim on the bond to recover losses. So basically, three party will be there: those who needs the bond, those who requires the bond and those who sells the bond. So basically it will be contractor, basically it's a bank, and it's a insurance company who will assure the bond. So this will be the structure for surety bond, and this panel will review the suitability of this kind of bond in India for the road construction. The next question is, which of the following state is not the part of Chambal Express project? The answer is Chhattisgarh. Recently, Minister for Road and Transport reviewed the proposed Chambal Express project with the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and the total cost for this project is 8200 crore, and this project is passing through MP, UP and Rajasthan, and it is connecting Vind to Kota. The expressway will be total 309 km long in Madhya Pradesh only, and it will connect the boundaries of Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh via Shivpur, Morena and Vind, and this will also cross connect the Golden Quadrilateral, Delhi-Kolkata corridor, North-South corridor, East-West corridor and Delhi-Mumbai expressway. This route will connect to Golden Quadrilateral route in Vind and North-South corridor in Morena and Delhi-Mumbai corridor in Rajasthan. It is expected that this project will be completed within 2 years after land acquisition, and this will be path-breaking project for the development of Madhya Pradesh, and transportation is very important topic under economics. The next question is, what will be the minimum number of members in farmers producer organization in plain area? The answer is 300. Recently, Agriculture Minister announced that rural sector will be transformed by the constitution of 10,000 new farmers producer organization, and these organization will be based on cluster scheme. Basically, these FPOs will be managed in such a way that farmers can get access to technological inputs, finances, better markets and better price for their crops. Basically, in the beginning, the minimum number of members in FPOs will be 300 in plain areas and 100 in northeast and hilly areas. 15% of FPOs will be constituted in aspirational district and will be formed on the priority basis in scheduled tribe areas. This aspirational district program is run by Niti Aayog. So this is very important program for the development of very backward districts. All FPOs will be provided professional support and hand holding for 5 years. This is a central scheme. So remember this important point. The total budget for this scheme is approx 7,000 crore, and it will be implemented through agency like NABARD, SFAC and NCDC. So remember all the important points related to this scheme. Anything can be asked in the examination, especially it is a central sector scheme, total outlay for this scheme, and who is going to implement this scheme, and what is the minimum numbers for FPOs in the plain areas and rural areas. So this kind of question will be asked in the examination. The first question is, National Productivity Council works under which of the following ministry? The answer is Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Recently, 49th Governing Council meeting of National Productivity Council was held under the chairmanship of Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. It is an autonomous body and works under the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, and this department works under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This is a national level organization that promotes productivity culture in India. It was established in 1958. It is a multi-party non-profit organization and it is registered under the Society Registration Act 21 of 1860, and it is a society according to this act. MPC is a constituent of Tokyo-based Asian Productivity Organization. This is an intergovernmental body and India was a founder member of this body. So basically, this body promotes the culture of productivity in different industry, and it is really useful at the time of this pandemic. The next question is, now the MSME's registration process will be known as? The answer is Udyam registration. Recently, Micro, small and medium enterprises has come out with a consolidated notification in the form of guidelines for classification and registration of MSMEs. This new notification will surpass the all old notification, and now the MSME registration process and classification process will be governed through this new guidelines, this new notification. Earlier we have discussed with classification of MSMEs. Now we will discuss with registration process. Now the MSME will be called as Udyam and the registration will be called as Udyam registration. It is very much close to World Enterprise. Now MSME can fill the online form and they can self-declare. No document upload requirement is there. It is without any certificate of proof. You can submit the online for your MSMEs. This enterprises can be registered with the help of Aadhaar numbers. Director Aadhaar will be used for the registration of MSMEs. Investment in plant and machinery or equipment and turnover are the basic criteria for classification of MSMEs. Now we have discussed in earlier lectures. So this point is very important. Remember this important point. The next question is, what will be the interest rate for first 6 months of floating rate saving bonds 2020 for July 1st to December 31st? The answer is 7.15%. Recently, Ministry of Finance has announced to launch a floating rate saving bonds 2020 from July 1st. It will be a taxable bond. It will give an opportunity to investor to invest in secured government instruments. Basically, this new bond has been launched in the place of 7.75% saving taxable bonds 2018. This bond was closed on May 28, 2020, and this new floating rate saving bond has been launched at the place of this old bond. The interest on the 7-year bond will be paid semi-annually on January 1st and July 1st every year. So basically the maturity period for this bond will be 7 years and the interest will be paid semi-annually after every 6th month. So from July 1 to December 31st, the interest rate will be 7.15%. The rate for next half year will be reset after every 6th month. So after every 6th month, the new rate will be decided. And why government has launched new bond? Because government has, it means RBI has reduced the repo rate. So basically the rate has been changed. So government will be in loss if they will pay the high interest rate. That's why they have come up with the floating rate saving bond. This is very important point. Keep this point in your mind. You can also redeem this bond prematurely. Premature redemption is allowed. The interest on the bond will be taxable under Income Tax Act 1961. This is also very important point. Reserve Bank of India will be issuing the bond on the behalf of government, and the bond could be held by a person resident in India and a Hindu undivided family. So remember all these important points related to bonds. The next question is, what is the total outlay of Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund? The answer is 15,000 crores. Recently, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved setting up of Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund worth rupees 15,000 crores. This fund will help in the establishment of infrastructure for dairy and meat processing industry. It will add additional value in terms of infrastructure development. It will help private players and entrepreneurs. The eligible beneficiaries under this scheme would be farmer producer organization, MSME, Section 8 companies, private companies and individual entrepreneurs with minimum 10% margin money contribution by them. So basically for project development, 10% money will be bear by entrepreneurs or company, and rest 90% they will get loan from this fund. Government of India will provide 3% interest subvention to eligible beneficiaries. So basically interest subvention scheme is also there, and up to 3% interest subvention will be there. There will be 2 years moratorium period for principal loan amount. So you don't have to pay anything for the 2 years, and the repayment period will be 6 years. So remember all this important point. Anything can be asked in your examination. The next question is distressed assets fund subordinate debt for MSMEs will be operationalized through which of the following? The answer is Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSMEs. Basically, Minister of MSME launched the Credit Guarantee Scheme for Subordinate Debt, and this is also called as Distressed Assets Fund Subordinate Debt for MSME. The guarantee cover worth 20,000 crore will be provided to the promoters. They can take the debt from the bank and further they will invest the amount in the stressed MSME as equity. The scheme will be operationalized through Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSME. This scheme seeks to extend support to promoters of operational MSME which has become stressed and have NPA as on 30th April 2020. So remember all these important points. Anything can be asked in your examination. The next question is distressed assets fund subordinate debt for MSMEs will be operationalized through which of the following? The answer is Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSMEs. Basically, Minister of MSME launched the Credit Guarantee Scheme for Subordinate Debt, and this is also called as Distressed Assets Fund Subordinate Debt for MSME. The guarantee cover worth 20,000 crore will be provided to the promoters. They can take the debt from the bank and further they will invest the amount in the stressed MSME as equity. The scheme will be operationalized through Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSME. This scheme seeks to extend support to promoters of operational MSME which has become stressed and have NPA as on 30th April 2020. So remember all these important points. Anything can be asked in your examination. The first question is Champions portal is related to which of the following ministry? The answer is Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Our Prime Minister has launched technology platform called Champion, and Champion stands for Creation and Harmonious Application of Modern Process for Increasing the Output and National Strength. So basically MSME Ministry has launched this portal to increase the output of MSME sector. The portal is basically for making a smaller unit to the larger unit. How this unit will solve their grievances, it will encourage and support and help the small MSME unit. Basically it is one-stop solution for this industry and it will be completely information and computer based. So that is very important point. As a part of system, a network of control room is created in hub and spoke model. Hub will be situated in Delhi and spoke will be situated in every state. There are different MSME offices will be connected and problem will be solved. Anything related to this sector will be solved with the help of this portal. So basically this portal will help to grow the small unit into the larger unit. So this is very important initiative to the revival of this sector. The next question is which of the following ministry has launched PM Swanidhi scheme? The answer is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched a special microcredit facility scheme called PM Swanidhi. The full form of this scheme is PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi. It is an affordable loan scheme for street vendors. Street vendor can take working capital of rupees 10,000 in the form of loan and they can repay this loan on the monthly basis in the tenure of 1 year. Basically interest subsidy will be given at the rate of 7% per annum and this subsidy will be directly transferred to the vendor's account on 6th month basis. So basically this is very important initiative. No penalty will be charged on early repayment of loan and if they are paying on time their credit limit will be increased. So basically street vendor
can be self-sufficient. They can take loan to start their business, because COVID-19 pandemic has hit hard to street vendors. So this is very important initiative by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The next question is, government is providing what percentage of interest rate subvention under Mudra Sisu loan? The answer is 2%. Center has announced Mudra Sisu loan for small business and cottage industry so that the shopkeepers do not suffer due to COVID-19 pandemic, and total 1500 crore interest subvention will be given for small businesses and cottage industry, and 2% interest rate subvention will be given for the period of 12 months to promote loan pay under Mudra scheme. So this is very important scheme. It will definitely give much needed relief to small borrowers, and under this they can avail the loan of 50,000. So a small Sisu loan is for 50,000. Micro unit development and refinance agency Mudra was started to refinance loans up to 10 lakh, and it has three categories: Sisu, Kishore and Tarun. Sisu is for 0 to 50,000, Kishore is for 50,000 to 5 lakh, and 5 lakh to 10 lakh is Tarun. So this is very important scheme. You must be aware about Mudra scheme. So that is the same thing. Now government is giving the interest subvention of 2% under Mudra Sisu loan. So that is very important point. Keep this in mind. It can be asked in the examination. The next question is, which of the following department recommend minimum support prices? The answer is Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices. The context of this question is, recently Union Cabinet has approved to fix the minimum support price at the level of at least 1.5 times of the cost of the production. So this is historic decision, and it will definitely benefit the farmer, and it will be implemented from Kharif season of 2020-21. So basically MSP of 14 crops in this season will be fixed according to this recommendation, which has been provided by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. So in this case the minimum price will be fixed at the rate of 50% and maximum will be 30%. So it is above the price of the production. So this is very important step. Another decision Cabinet has taken, they have extended the repayment date of short-term loans for agriculture and allied activities. The farmer can not pay the loan till August end of this year. So it is a big relief for the farmer. This decision will help all the farmers whose loan repayment is due dated between 1st March to 31st August. The agricultural short-term loan due between 1st March 2020 and 31st August 2020 will continue to get the benefit of 2% interest subvention of the bank. So basically if anyone can taking the loan during this period, they can get 2% interest subvention, and 3% subvention they will get if they are paying the EMI on time. So basically this number is very important. They are getting 2% interest subvention, and if they are prompt paying their EMI on the time, they will get the 3% interest subvention. So remember this important point. It can be asked in the examination. The next question is, global economic prospects recently seen in news is released by? The answer is World Bank. World Bank released its global economic prospects June 2020 report, and this report says that COVID-19 pandemic is expected to have severe short-term and long-term effect on economic growth. Current estimate shows that 60 million people could be pushed into extreme poverty in year 2020, and these estimates are likely to rise further. Emerging market and developing economies will be hardly hit. It means they will be hit hard. They are very vulnerable. These countries are expected to have 3 to 8% output loss in short term. So remember this important point also. Global Economic Prospects is a World Bank semi-annual flagship publication. So it is published twice in a year, so it is semi-annual. So remember this important point also, and it cover the economic scenario of world. So this report is very important for the policy makers and the economist. The next question is, which of the following is now world's largest derivatives exchange by volume? The answer is National Stock Exchange of India. So recently this stock exchange has emerged as world's largest stock exchange in terms of volume exchange, and it has surpassed CME Group according to Futures Industries Association. NSE is also ranked third in the world in terms of cash equities segment, and this number is published by World Federation of Exchange. NSE is the leading stock exchange of India, and it is located in Mumbai. It was established in 1994 as a first materialized electronic exchange in the country. So these are the important points which can be asked in the examination. Keep these points in your mind.
Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. If you have enjoyed the lecture, like, share and comment and subscribe to Educare 247. Thank you and happy learning.